Hey, how's everybody doing? Alexander Investment Insights. We're back with another video. We're going to go over quite a few stocks in this video, like Palantir. We're going to go over some other stocks like SMCI and Broadcom, and some stocks that we haven't gone over in a minute, like Taiwan Semiconductors, and then also Meta and a lot of other stocks. But first, we're going to start with some retail stocks, some big movers lately. With DJT. So DJT actually had a nice down day today. See, this is what we want on DJT. So is a play forming? Possibly. DJT was going up so fast that we had nowhere to really enter. We wanted a big down candle, and that's exactly what's happening. I haven't really seen any news to see what actually is happening if Trump sold a lot of his shares, but I don't think he really did. So it did break that resistance of 27.30 and then came right back down to it today and actually held that. So I'm just going to move resistance up actually. Actually, no, resistance will stay there at 27.30 and we'll see how that reacts. And then we have support down here at $21. So might be actually looking to build a position, just a swing shares on DJT to maybe push up into the 40s or the high 30s area and get a nice like 50 to whatever percent gain on DJT on the share side. So that's really what I see on DJT. Nice that we had a red day there, so we'll see how far that continues. Hologram, remember they had the split here on October 9th, pushing up a little bit today, but they really no moves to do until we break that 817 area on the upside. And so that's really all you need. You kind of actually might want to delete. There's no reason to really have a support here, but just know that the 817 is what you need to break if you want to see any movement on the upside on Holo. Roku has a support of 79.60 and then a resistance of 79.60 and a support of 73.50. You see that how that's resistance is holding ever since September 19th, and then we haven't really want to break it. So I believe once we break this resistance, we could see some legs on Roku, definitely up to like the 90s, high 90s area, and that could definitely be a swing shares play that I'm looking out for. All right, let's move on to some higher stocks. We go to Palantir. Palantir having some pull down. We're gonna see how far this pulls down. I do want to build like a long-term position on Palantir. I just kind of want to see where I could get a good entry at, because it was just too vertical for my liking to get a position in there. So right now I have support at 39.15, and that's what I'm looking for. See if that support breaks. If support breaks, then go to like 36 to around the 34s or 32s. That is when I might build in a position on Palantir, right? That's what I'm looking for. I want Palantir down so I can get a position in on it. SMCI hasn't broke our resistance at 48.45 yet. Still there. Hasn't really want to break it. Once we break that resistance, yes, we could see some legs on SMCIs, maybe to the high 50s ever since their stock split. But I'm just going to delete that here. So just watch that resistance, 48.45, and then that's going to give you an idea of what SMCI wants to do shorter term. Taiwan Semiconductors ran up right to its resistance at 193. Then went right back down. You see how that's its all-time high, that 193? That's where we opened up the day back here on July 11th. That's exactly where we opened up today. Pretty much did the same exact thing. Boom, right back to the downside. And really what happened after that? Well, they dumped before their earnings. Then their earnings came out and they dumped even more. So are we going to see some more downside on TSM? We're going to have to find out. They do have earnings on Thursday, so that's going to be a big thing for TSM. We're going to want to see how they react. So there's really no plays I see on it right now. It's kind of risky right before their earnings, so I'm not going to be playing it. We go to Broadcom. Broadcom reaching is down to its support of 174 perfectly. You see if we went to the 5-minute chart. We opened up, we went right down to that support, held support perfectly. Leave a like, try to get as many likes as you can. 4 hours after this video comes out, that will make me happy. We went right down to that support, held support, and went right back up. So we're kind of stalling out at that support right now. That support did work. Just want to see if it wants to break this support more to the downside. If this support breaks to the downside, we'll have another support around 167.80. but we haven't broken this 174 support yet. So that's really what I'm looking out for on AVGOs. It did go to the all-time highs. It made new highs right here at 186.50. So that's all I really see on AVGO. I guess I could put a resistance in now. The resistance at 184.75. But we could see some downside on AVGO. It doesn't have earnings quite yet, but its earnings will be coming up pretty soon. So that's all I'm looking for on AVGO, looking at that support of 174, okay? Let's go on to Nvidia stock. Nvidia stock actually having a nice down day to do, but held our support of 131 perfectly. Like I was saying, these supports and resistances, they really do help. See how it came crashing down, went to that support, basically just stalled at that support every day. And that's why I really trade in the first hour of the market open, because this is always where all of the high movements are. Where you catch plays is in the first hour. You catch plays in your first hour, and what happens? Everything after that is just dead hour. It's just going to stall out at our support. And where is it at right now? It's still at our support. So support on Nvidia is still 131, and we have resistance here at 140.80. There's another resistance around 137.20, but we're just going to keep that higher resistance on there as a nice price target to aim towards if we start heading back up on Nvidia. All right, let's go to Meta stock. Meta stock having some nice down movement, also holding our support of 182.20. We have another at 570, but holding our support nicely. Just been stalled out for the past couple weeks, really. We go to the 30-minute chart. Really, it's just been sideways. You see how it went up, and then ever since here, it's just been sideways. There's really not many plays you could do when we're moving sideways like that, right? The scalp down to the downside, I think the team played it this morning because I played Aapl calls this morning because we broke resistance and we started pumping. But the team also, on top of that Aapl, they played Meta downside because there was a target right here. You see that target actually hit, the support hit. So they did play that. Let's go to Tesla. Tesla, remember we dropped off of that robot event, just, sideways right now. We don't have any clear directions. So there's really nowhere that we know is going to go on Tesla. I do have resistance at 129 and support at 110. I am actually going to wrap this up in another support and resistance, but I'm not really going to label it. I'm just going to put this here. So it's going to give me a better sense of where the stock wants to go. Once one of these two supports or resistance breaks to the upside, like fully breaks, that's when we'll know the kind of direction we see on Tesla. But ever since that dump, we haven't had really any recovery to the upside. They're just stalled out. So we might see some more downside if these supports starts breaking. We could go to the 190s, even the 170s on the downside on Tesla. We're just going to have to wait and see, because right now, I don't see a play on it. Google, kind of nice going up. We had a down day today. I still have resistance at 168.40 and support at 160.70. Pretty simple there on Google. Now we go to Aapl, and we'll show you the play that we did today. I did today on Aapl. So, well, actually, you have to see the resistance break first. So we had a resistance right here at 230, and there was another resistance right here at 233.19 actually. And when this resistance broke, that's when we knew it was going to pump. You see how it got hitting that resistance right here at 233? That's how we knew we were going to pump. So it's actually time to move this. And we do have another resistance at 235. So 235 is our new resistance. And then we have both these supports here still on Aapl, but we're just going to want to see. Now let's go to the play that we did this morning. So we knew that Aapl was going to jump up after it broke this level here at 233.50. So right, 233.50 broke on Aapl right here. Pretty much as it opened, we started going up above 233.50, and I jumped in when the shorter term resistance broke right here at 234.50. So once that shorter term resistance broke, I got in calls. I sold it up here, right here, and then we got in more calls once again, played it again, and then we sold it up here at this next red candle. And then that's all you really needed, because you see after those two plays, boom, hold in our resistance again. So that's what I see there on Aapl. Just watch out for this resistance and these two supports. Really not much else you could do right now. unless we break that resistance and keep going higher. But we go over to Amazon stock. Amazon stock kind of just stalled out really. 194 support and 181, or resistance and 181 support. Really not much you could do. We go to Dell stock. Dell stock kind of dropping off of that resistance too. See, it kind of went up to our resistance a few cents away of 131.40 and went down. So we still have support here at 122. I'm actually even going to move this down. It's not really the correct support. Our real support is 119.50. 119.50 support on Dell stock. Alright, 119.50 on Dell stock. So you're going to want to watch the support. If we keep coming down and we break this, then we might get swing puts honestly down to the 113.80 area. So that's what I'm looking for out on Dell. We go to AMD. AMD breaking our support of 160.30. So we're going to see how far AMD can go down now. I do have another support at 150 or 151. So 151 is our new support on AMD. And if that breaks, we could see AMD back down to the 130s range. So that's all I see there on AMD right now. I'm going to keep this resistance of 172 because we're kind of just in no man's land. AMD's dropping right now. Just watch out for that on AMD. Kind of seems like it wants to keep dropping down. EL stock, Estee Lauder Company. Kind of looked at the stock the other day. It's a makeup brand. They have most of their demand comes from China, but I think that they're trying to expand, and their China demand has been low. But as you see, phenomenal growth over the years. It's just that the stock price has taken a dump recently. So I really have no levels on this. It's just like a long-term play that I'm looking to maybe buy depending on the price action. If we start heading up, where it's going to find support. But all it's really doing now is dumping, so not really much you can do there. BABA breaking our support of 105.80. That's good. I do want to buy a position on BABA. I'm just kind of waiting for when we start heading back up. So this 105.80 broke. We're going to have a new support down here at 95.75. So 95.75 is our new support on BABA. Looking like it kind of wants to head down there. You see we hit that high and we just been dropping ever since, really. So just going to want to see how BABA finds support before it starts heading back up again, because I do think that BABA will start heading back up again. If we actually zoom out to the monthly chart, we can see that they had phenomenal growth around COVID, especially. Ever since then, man, did they crash down. They crashed down to their all-time low, pretty much exactly to their all-time low, and then found support there. And came down, found support there, they pushed up big, but we're just going to want to see where BABA wants to find support, and then, again, probably around 75, 95, 75, so we can get a nice position in it before it starts booming back to the upside. PayPal, we're going to delete this level here on PayPal. PayPal, we have resistance at $80.31. Actually going to move it up. We actually have it at $81. So 81 resistance at PayPal. I like PayPal as a company. They also own Venmo, if you didn't know that. We have support here at 76.60. So I'm going to put that there. Nice shorter term support. But yeah, they own PayPal. They're mostly in the they own Venmo. They're mostly in the US, all of PayPal and Venmo and some other brands that they are. So, but if we go out, they've had phenomenal growth. They're just kind of down right now. So they need to expand into other markets and do a little bit more stuff like in terms of expanding. So that's what I see on PayPal. They have had some nice movement up, actually. You see from this support, because they had support right here and they kept holding it from this support up to where it's up now. It's up 38%. So that's some nice growth. We're just kind of want to see. I want to get a position on PayPal because I do think that they will start getting a little bit more global eventually. But we're gonna want to see where they find support because it's pretty vertical right now. All right, Boeing. I do have a buying level right here on Boeing around 143. Doesn't mean I'm gonna buy it. It kind of just means like, oh, start looking out for potential plays on Boeing, because Boeing is no stranger of having these nice boom up runs, nice furious down runs as well. So it likes to move very fast, Boeing. And that's what I'm really looking out for. I don't really have a support or resistance. I'll keep this resistance here actually at 175 resistance. And I'm just going to keep this green level here to give me a good sense of where I might want to start building shares. But I don't know how far. Boeing could drop even more than this. Boeing could go down all the way to the 90s perhaps. You never really know, especially if they have an airplane crash or something like that. But they're really not going anywhere as a company. They produce, I think, like over 80% of the airplanes in the US, so they're really not going anywhere. I just want to catch one of those nice movements to the upside. So Burke has resistance at 162.50, support at 150.75. You see today we actually went above that resistance, ended right back down it. So resistance really hasn't broken yet. Of course, you all know I'm heavily invested in Berkshire Hathaway. I'm just looking for a nice 20% down. If we could get a nice 20% drop on Burke, ooh, I'm loading the boat on that baby, because we really don't get 20% drops on Burke all that often. Here, nice 28% drop throughout the inflation period. COVID was a nice 20% drop, but they don't really drop more than 25% ever. So I just want to get a 20% drop so I can load the boat on them. That's what I'm looking for on Berkshire Hathaway. I'm going to leave the video there. Hope that gave you some good analysis, some good levels. As you see, they always work. So just watch out for those. And make sure you run this up with the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. I'm going to be coming out with a lot of content. So other than that, have a great rest of your day. Thank you.